Hi, I'm Kendra Miller with Sandusky County EMS, and today we're going to show you how to stop the bleed. These skills that you're about to learn can come in handy when you find anyone that could possibly have a life-threatening bleed. You could find a victim in a car accident and need to help them. If there was a mass casualty incident, or we were threatened by a terrorist attack or a school shooting, you may need to have this knowledge in order to save someone's life. The first two goals that you need to know in order to stop the bleed are being able to identify a life-threatening bleed, and secondly, how to stop that bleed. This can be completed by applying direct pressure, by packing the wound, and applying a tourniquet. So first, I'm going to take my 4x4. I'm going to place them over my wound site and apply direct pressure. If bleeding continues, I will then grab my Curlex and wrap the wound as I am applying pressure and making sure my bandage is tight. I will continue this until my bandage is completely gone and the bleeding is controlled. Next, let's say you can't get that bleeding to stop with direct pressure. Another way to do it is to take your Curlex or your cling wrap and begin pressing it into the bleeding site itself. The goal of this is to stop any arterial bleed. So you're going to have to get your fingers in there and press pretty hard to pack all of this inside. Do note that this could be painful, and please talk your patient through it or your loved one as you do this. But the goal is to stop that bleeding in order to help them. Once you get it packed securely, you can continue around with your cling to keep it in place and allow pressure to be on the site. And that is how you can pack a wound. Next, we have our tourniquets. Tourniquets are used for arterial bleeds that you just can't manage with direct pressure or packing. Tourniquets are meant to be used on extremities or anywhere that you can safely secure them. Do note, you cannot apply a tourniquet to the neck. The goal of a tourniquet is to cut off circulation to the extremity, so therefore it has a lack of blood flow. To do this, you want to start by opening your tourniquet. You're going to remove this plastic knob, open it up, and it's easier if you leave this end together so you don't have to restring it. You're going to slide it over the extremity, and you're going to put it 2 to 3 inches above the wound. You're going to apply this tourniquet right now as tight as you physically can. Once it's secure, you're going to begin to twist this knob. You're going to twist until you know no bleeding, and then you will put this down to secure this in place. Once the bleeding is controlled, please do not remove this tourniquet. It should only be removed by a physician at the hospital. And last but not least, we want to show you one more type of bandage. This is called the Israeli bandage. The Israeli bandage is designed to add direct pressure to the wound without having to add a tourniquet. These are going to be more for your wounds that are not arterial bleeds and are not squirting blood. However, they could just be oozing, or there is still an adequate amount of blood loss. You are going to start by taking this piece that has the pad on the back and placing it onto your wound site. You are going to begin to wrap the bandage around the site. When you get to this point, you are going to pinch your bandage and place it into the plastic loop, like so. From this point, you are now going to reverse the way that you started rolling. This applies pressure to the area, and then you can continue to unroll your dressing. This allows you to have great pressure on your wounds that may need a little extra help. Once you're completed, you can take these clips and clip your dressing right to itself. In case of an emergency and you do not have any equipment with you, you can be creative. Right here is a t-shirt. We're going to demonstrate how you can pack a wound and apply pressure with a t-shirt. You're not always going to have items readily available that are sterile and able to be used. You need to be creative and think outside of the box in order to save someone's life. You can take the sleeve of a t-shirt, pack it into the hole, applying that pressure. Thus, wrap the rest of the shirt around. Tying it and maintaining pressure until help arrives. Please remember, once you apply the pressure, don't let go until you are relieved by a healthcare provider.